Ladies and gentlemen, I know we're amid global panic with the coronavirus still at large, but what if I told you there's a new pandemic sweeping this world, and this one's got a TikTok? I'm talking, of course, about the OK Boomer dancing Bernie girl from Twitter. She's taken over Twitter like Skynet taking over the military in the Terminator franchise, and much like Skynet, she's weaponized it. She has inadvertently turned simps into a weapon. You got men blocking their wives on Twitter so they can simp for her in private. You have brave soldiers fighting for her love on the front lines of every single comment thread ever. It's fucking madness. It's crazy out there. It's true hysteria and quite the phenomenon. She's gone up 120,000 Twitter followers in the last 4 days. You can't log on to Twitter without reading about it or seeing it. It's crazy. Let me go ahead and show you the clip now.
Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Yeah, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Yeah, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer.
I don't know what Kidz Bop album the song is from, but it's quite the jam. Now you'll notice she's wearing a Bernie shirt with a hashtag Bernie thing. I don't like to get political, don't know fuck all about politics, not gonna pretend like I do, but in this case, it wasn't about politics, it's about politics. The Twitter audience only cared about obsessing over the girl, nothing political. I mean, maybe Bernie cared. I mean, maybe Bernie went to her Twitch streams and dropped a fat 50 gift subs. I don't really know there. But on Twitter, they only cared about the girl, not the politics behind it or anything like that. Congratulations to her, though. Her name is Nico. She blew up because of this, so good work for her. I don't know about the song. I mean, the song's kind of fucking weird. It just sounds like Tommy Pickles and the gang getting together to do karaoke. I don't really like the song. But you can't argue with the results. This shit popped off. And like I said, this spawned an actual conflict, a real war that we'll most likely be reading about on Wikipedia in the next 2 or 3 years, where you had the simps that really thought that they could fall in love, that the girl would fall in love with them if they kept trying hard enough to defend her and fight her battles on Twitter, versus the people that didn't like the TikTok dance, people that just don't like TikToks. They went to battle. They fought on multiple Twitter threads across multiple days. It was bloody conflict, ruthless and vicious, until today.
I recently got me and my boyfriend shirts, Bernie shirts.
Did you catch that? I'll play it again.
I recently got me and my boyfriend shirts.
Me and my boyfriend, she said. The queen betrayed the simps. Nay, she outright brought them outside and publicly executed them. She announced she had a boyfriend, and this was when the peace treaty was signed, where both sides said, you know what, we don't have a chance. Let's just move the fuck on. So while this may have ended the majority of the weaponized simping, there were still some remnants of soldiers on Twitter that didn't know the war was over. Kinda like the Japanese holdout soldiers, where they still defended islands and shit for like 60 years after World War II was over because they didn't know. That's kind of what exists on Twitter right now. Of course, as always, there were those really fucking creepy posts claiming that they had the girl's nudes. It was just trolls where they had a completely blank picture that made it seem like the picture wasn't loading. So in all these posts, there were some really desperate, pathetic weirdos that were begging to get the photos, you know, DM, Discord, like this guy here fucking factory resets his phone. I'm surprised he didn't bring it into the Apple store to see if he could help him. It's some really sad shit, but there was a lot of this going on as well. Really, it's been a wild time on Twitter with this simp war that's both started and ended within a week, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention in case you haven't been on Twitter, just to bring you up to speed. And if you haven't been on Twitter, congratulations, that shit's a real swamp, a big old fucking cesspool, but I did find this to be pretty entertaining stuff. That's about it. So yeah. Yeah, I'm wrapping up 2023 with the season finale, my own little YouTube rewind, where I go back through the internet's most insufferable worms from this year that I haven't previously covered, and I make fun of them now. Yesterday, it was Illuminati on the chopping block. Today, we're shooting spitballs at Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty's infamy online reached its crescendo about a month ago, hitting its peak, mainly because he became known as just this punching bag. His face was a knuckle sandwich magnet, so most of his viral clips were him getting slapped or being involved in some kind of fight that broke out, because he truly is just an insufferable asshole to be around. Now make no mistake, don't misconstrue my words, Jack Doherty isn't the one fighting. He's the one getting beat like a drum, and I don't think I've ever seen him throw anything beyond one wet noodle punch that didn't connect. He usually has his bodyguards fight his battles for him, with conflicts that he starts and instigates, but he's around fights all the time. It's just, when you get near Jack Doherty, it immediately, it's like a Dementor, it sucks the fun out of everything, and everyone gets uncomfortable and mad at him. He just has this indescribable X-Men mutation about him that makes him impossible to be around while also being in a good mood. So I'm going to go ahead and show you his most viral clip that ever came out from him, the legacy for which he will always be remembered. This is his magnum opus.
Go. Where we at? Where we at? What? Little bro, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, little bro? Yeah. Yeah.
This is Jack's iconic shtick, where he walks around causing a ruckus, just being this menace to society, harassing people, and then trying to get a rise out of them. The second someone looks like they're ready to get confrontational with Jack, he has his security guards swoop in and stop it, just put the kibosh on it immediately. He travels with his bodyguards that are basically his babysitters, his nannies, really his guardian angels. They're the only thing that's kept him alive this long, because he is such a piece of shit. Everybody wants to fight him when he does things like this, but his bodyguards protect him. And he still has the gall, the fucking chutzpah, to stand behind his bodyguards, peek his head over, and continue to insult the person. He actually looks like a cartoon villain out of Popeye. Like, look at the way he conducts himself. It's so bad. This would be the most embarrassing moment to somebody else, but for Jack, it's his proudest moment. Now, when it comes to insulting Jack Doherty here, I actually have skin in this game. Just like an 80s action movie tagline, this time it's personal. When I say he is insufferable to be around, I'm not just basing that off of the videos I see of him. I actually know Jack Doherty in real life. In fact, he was in one of my videos 4 years ago, but you probably didn't know that because I did my absolute best to edit him out of it. It's from a video 4 years ago when the local Tampa Police Department challenged me to complete their police academy. This was during the time where I was watching live PD and talking about police activity, making jokes about it. They invited me out there to try it myself. Well, Jack Doherty actually happened to be there on that same day. Despite my best efforts to rewrite history, you can't fully erase the stain. You can see the cringe cryptid right there in the yellow shirt. This is a young Jack Doherty spotting. At the time of filming that video, Jack would have been 16 years old. And I know it's not exactly cool to bully a child, but this wasn't a child, this was a demon. It's not just me that had an extremely negative impression of Jack on that day. Matt, Andrew, Tiana, and the officers all had nothing good to say about their experience being around Jack Doherty for like the 6 hours we were there. He was one of the most disrespectful people I had ever seen in person. For some reason, he was extremely loud most of the day, so anytime he tried to talk, he'd kind of yell it at the officers or anyone he was talking to, I suppose. It was like he was trying to get into a screaming match on an Xbox Live lobby for no reason. Like, I think that was just him trying to be hype for his video or something, but man, it was extremely annoying. But beyond that, anytime we were about to do one of the tests, or if the officers were trying to tell us something about one of the tests, he'd be like interrupting them frequently, and the yelling was giving me a goddamn headache. Like, none of us had anything positive to say about Jack. The only thing is, we all understood that he was a child, and he found internet fame extremely young. So clearly that had a poisonous effect on his mind, and we had all just kind of expected that he's going through a phase most likely, and he'd eventually grow out of this. But not only did he not grow height-wise, he also didn't grow personality-wise. His attitude is exactly the same. His face looks exactly the same as when he was a 13-year-old boy, which is highly unlucky for him, and maybe that explains why he lashes out so often. But overall, over the last 4 years, he's just gotten worse. He's gotten more degenerate, more aggressive, more hostile, and he's just a giant piece of shit now. Since he's had internet fame for so long, he truly believes that he is some kind of deity, this kind of internet god, and everyone is beneath him. He thinks he's superior to just the plebeians around him, so he uses all the strangers he comes in contact with on stream as props for his content, and his big thing is still basically having his bodyguard protect him all of the time, which is so fucking pathetic. But anyway, let's dive into a bit more of the Sack Doherty lore. So he makes most of his money through OnlyFans. He manages a lot of OnlyFans girls, as well as having an OnlyFans of his own, which I think if you sign up for that, you need to be put on some kind of FBI watch list, because this looks like a child. That is a very fucking awful OnlyFans page to be subscribing to. You probably need to be investigated. But he makes all of his money there, basically, and he will never let you forget he is making a lot of money through managing these OnlyFans models. He frequently posts these flexes, talk shit all you want, you wish you could spend this much on your credit card in just 2 weeks, and it's just an absurd amount of money that he's dumping on garbage. He posts these at least once a week, and it's clearly engagement farming. He's just baiting people into getting mad at him and just shitting on him, because he's realized that that is his formula to success. He'll just cosplay as the communal urinal for the internet to collectively come take a piss in, because it gets him a little money off of like the Twitter posts, but maybe it gets him a couple extra OnlyFans subscribers or a few curious kids that'll watch his stream to see what kind of degeneracy unfolds. He's basically playing the villain. He's leaning into the role. I always find this to be an extremely sad path to take, because he is actually just becoming the clown on purpose, and eventually he's going to grow up. It's going to happen at some point, and it's going to be nothing but shame for him, I imagine, because who in the world would possibly want the legacy of just being the hated douchebag? That's not something to be proud of. Even if you do have a lot of money in your bank account from it, I can't imagine it feels good to explain to your friends and family how you got that money, because everyone dislikes you and makes fun of you. Like, there's no way that that's a rewarding experience. I don't think there's any reason to show you any more of his clips. They're all just infuriating garbage. It's just eye-rolling trash. Like, even just yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, he got into a confrontation with a bouncer over, like, a fake ID or something, according to the headlines. And it's once again just Sack Doherty being the little goblin that he is. Just this little douchebag. And just an entitled asshole. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about him a little bit since I haven't talked about him all year, and I do actually know him. I'm using know really loosely. I met him one time, but that was enough to get an extremely accurate gauge on the kind of person he was then, and all I could do was pray that he wouldn't be that person in the future. But he became so much worse down the line, which is almost impressive, actually. So yeah, just wanted to talk about him a little bit. That's it. See ya. At the end of 2022, the Liver King was one of the biggest names in the fitness industry. But at the beginning of the year, a mere 8 months ago, it all came crumbling down thanks to one video from More Plates, More Dates, where he exposed that Liver King's entire online presence was based upon a lie. Liver King had always preached the primal lifestyle, known for eating a bunch of wacky foods and raw meats. Like, he has more testicles in his videos than Riley Reid's entire filmography. His big thing was eating all of these testicles and slurping down tons of liver, gluttonously consuming an endless supply of exotic meats, and all the while preaching that it's ancestral living. And he'd lead his followers to believe that if they purchase his supplements and his supplies and eat like him, they could look like him. And obviously, a lot of people fell hook, line, and sinker for that scam because he has a very impressive physique. He looks like an anime character straight out of Baki the Grappler. The goofball's got muscles on his body that haven't even been invented yet. And his veins are just bulging out of his skin. It looks like they're transporting diesel throughout his body. And he would keep telling them, like, if you work hard, you buy my shit, you eat like me, you live like me, following the ancestral tenets, you can be like me, look like me. And it was all completely a lie. It turns out he was juiced to the gills. He was on tons and tons of performance-enhancing products, and More Plates, More Dates brought that to the public eye. Eventually, it forced Liver King himself to just admit that he lied about all of it. He lied. His body isn't the result of following the ancestral tenets or glorbing down on animal testicle for every meal. It's the result of steroids. So, I saw a video floating around on Twitter today, one of his more recent posts, and he's looking extremely rough. So I just wanted to do a little checkup on where Liver King is 8 months post-exposing.
In the modern world, we like to have our bowl of cereal, don't we? This is a primal version of your bowl of cereal. I got my testicles in farm-fresh milk from Liver King Ranch.
Yeah, it's business as usual. He's doing the exact same stuff as he was prior to having all of the steroid usage come to light. But it looks like he's aged 20 years in the last 8 months. It looks like he's one testicle sandwich away from actually exploding. In every TikTok I've seen of him, his body is bright red. It looks like Arnold's face in the movie Total Recall when he takes his helmet off in space and his eyes pop out of his skull, like right before blowing up. That's what Liver King's body looks like. It looks like it is struggling to stay in one piece. Also, a lot of people on Twitter pointed this out, and it's a really good point. It is still so silly how he keeps calling his diet primal living, eating like our ancestors, when this is the furthest thing from primal eating. All of his meals are meticulously prepared by his personal chef and his whole team. He used to say this thing on his videos where, if you don't hunt it, you don't eat it, which is just so dumb because clearly he's not hunting for all of this meat. Like, he's eating more meat than Luffy in One Piece. There is no way he'd be able to hunt for all of that. The only reason he's able to eat like he does in these videos is because he is indulging in the modern excess. He is doing nothing even remotely associated with living primal, I guess aside from the bed he sleeps on, because he basically sleeps on a fucking plank of wood. Dude goes to bed in a coffin like a muscle vampire. That's like the only ancestral type thing he does, because his diet is the furthest thing from it. It is literally the result of being super privileged in the modern excess era.
The most feared warriors, the Maasai. What they get down on is milk, meat, and blood. And they are expressed in a higher, more dominant form. If you still want your primal cereal to taste like Cocoa Pebbles at the end.
That weak-ass chocolate powder that he's dumping in from his brand is not going to salvage this primal bowl of cereal. It's not going to make it taste like Cocoa Pebbles. It's going to make it taste like Cocoa Puke. It also really made me giggle that he just didn't even have the energy to actually mix the powder with the milk, so he ends up just consuming it with just powder on top of milk. It's so weird, though, that he even bothered calling this a bowl of cereal primal style. It has nothing in common with that other than there just being milk in a bowl. That's where all the similarities stop. He could have just presented this culinary crime as just like a wacky little shocking dish, like, hey, check this one out, here's 4 testicles and some milk. But anyway, I do think he's upped his usage of the PEDs. It seems like he is in a much different state now than he was 8 months ago, and not for the better. In most of the TikToks I watched from him, he seemed much more physically drained much quicker. He seemed to have significantly less energy. His physique doesn't look significantly different than it used to, but it looks less human, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't look like muscles anymore. It looks like he has a bunch of rocks under his skin disguising themselves as muscles, like in the shape of muscles.
Put a little bit of whole piece in with your testicles. Make sure you peel back the membrane on the testicle. You can use a spoon if you want, but God gave you the hands for a reason.
I honestly feel pretty bad to a certain extent here. Like, it feels like his muscles have gained their own sentience at this point from so many steroids that they now have a mind of their own, and they're working the Liver King like a puppet. They're in his brain pulling levers like that alien in Men in Black 1, so they're forcing him to keep, you know, staying on the gear, never letting him stop. And it's just kind of sad. Because to me, this screams that he's trapped doing this forever because it's his livelihood, it's his financial security, and the livelihood of his entire family. So he needs to keep amping up the extreme meals that he's eating. So he's eating chicken heads and peeling the tongue out of frogs in one of his other TikToks, most recent ones. Like, he just has to keep amping that up so people keep watching, and then he has to keep injecting and stay on all the gear so that way his physique stays the same so people keep watching. And I feel really awful for his audience that is still buying his products in the hopes that they can look even remotely similar to how he does. They can't. Hop off the hopium. No matter how closely you follow his ancestral tenets and no matter how many of his products you buy, you will not have a body that looks like his unless you also get on all of the gear he's using in the same amounts of it. That is the only way. His body is not naturally achievable. Period. Full stop. Now, another thing he's begun doing on his TikTok is he's been posting a lot more content in very expensive shit that is very clearly not ancestral living. So this is a screenshot from one of his more recent TikToks where he's on his private jet and has his personal chef Lionel serve him up some snakes on a plane, so he makes some snakes for him to eat. It's clearly a joke off of the old meme, you know, motherfucking snakes on the plane and all that. So he's very tardy to the party on that meme. That one died like a decade ago. But what's really interesting here is that he's unashamedly showing that he doesn't actually even follow his own ancestral living lifestyle advice, really. Like, being on a private jet is the furthest possible thing from primal living. And some of his audience even called him out, saying, you know, our private jet's primal. And I guess, you know, it's his world, we're just eating testicles in it, so he just comes up with some arbitrary excuse on why it's totally fine. So he says, a true primal left the comfort of the cave for adventure and a better life. Flying private falls squarely in the better life department. What a cop-out. So basically, I make the rules, fuck you. Like, that doesn't make any sense. By this logic, you could also make the same argument for actually everything else. Why eat all the raw meat that you preach about? True primals, in search of a better life, learn to cook food. And it helped them find a better life. So why wouldn't cooking all of the meals be the preferred way, since it is the better life component of your primal definition? It doesn't add up. It's just one of those things where rules for thee, not for me. He doesn't practice what he preaches. I said this a long time ago. I am very confident everything he showed in his lifestyle video was a big old load of baloney. Just actual fucking horseradish. I don't think he sleeps on a bed of wood, basically. I think he has a luxury $20,000 mattress infused with diamonds somewhere, because he lives a very lavish lifestyle and always has, and everything he's ever put online has been a lie, especially when it comes to his physique and what he actually does in order to look the way he does. But now he's just getting more and more egregious with the lie here. Like, this isn't even really trying to even pretend that you follow your own ancestral tenets and primal living. This is clearly all just marketing. Always has been, always will be when it comes to the Liver King. He is just, in every single video, pumping his Liver King bars, Liver King powders, supplements, all kinds of just completely worthless things that nobody watching him needs. And if you're someone that's watching him and buying these things hoping to get in better shape, then you can find significantly better products on the market that aren't the Liver Kings. Compared to the rest of the industry, his products are very weak. They're not the best available, so you could benefit far more from doing research outside of the Liver King echo chamber and finding much better supplements and powders than what he's currently offering. Holy shit, this fly has not left the entire video. I'm having my own primal battle right now against nature here, Jesus. But the point is, he is a fraud. He has been exposed as a fraud. And 8 months later, he is still doing the exact same thing, but he looks a lot worse now because I really feel like he is only amplifying his gear usage, much to his overall health detriment, I imagine, and only amplifying the extreme nature of his wacky meals. So that's just kind of the little 8-month update on the Liver King here. That's really about it. So yeah. Just when you thought all the internet drama was beginning to die down a bit, we have a new wild and wacky development here, but this time on YouTube, and involving cheating. But not like the anal bead chest cheating. This cheating doesn't involve butt plugs or anal beads at all. This one involves a man who was unfaithful to his wife. I'm talking about the Try Guys, Ned Fulmer. The Try Guys are a massive channel, have been for a long time, and yesterday they posted this message letting people know that Ned Fulmer would no longer be working with the Try Guys. After this was posted, all of the information began to surface as to why. There's video, picture evidence that confirms that Ned Fulmer cheated on his wife with a workplace associate for quite some time, I believe. And it was a big mess, a big, stinky, filthy mess. I went over the situation on stream, and I'll show you the clips from that, but I think it's very important to highlight that Ned Fulmer's entire identity revolved around how much he loved his wife. Like, I swear to God, it was like he took a goddamn love potion from Harry Potter, because half the shit he would talk about in the videos was how much he loved his wife. And then it turns out he was cheating on her. So yeah, just a giant scumbag shit stain, and the entire community was really caught off guard by this, obviously. Super shocked to learn that Ned Fulmer was a cheater. That would be like if you guys learned I secretly enjoyed Burger King. I am publicly insulting them all the time, saying how bad they are, comparing their food to nuclear sludge, But imagine all of that's just a lie, and it turns out that I actually love Burger King and I'm boofing Whoppers in my bathtub every night. You would be shocked and feel betrayed just even learning that about me. So I think the audience definitely felt that because they were all under the impression that Ned Fulmer was a very family first kind of guy. He has kids as well. So no one really thought Ned Fulmer would be a piece of shit like this. So a very sad situation overall. I'll go ahead and play the stream moments that really showcase the whole situation a bit more, but I wanted to give you the general overview here of what's going on. So I think most people are familiar with the Try Guys, I would imagine. Try Guys are a huge channel and have been for a very long time. And one of the members has recently been accused of being unfaithful to his wife. A wife whom he would constantly brag about and mention how much he loves his wife and respects his wife. In fact, he even posted a whole compilation of it. This is Ned, and the love he feels for his wife.
My wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife.
Yeah, so it's like straight out of Borat with the whole my wife thing. So he talks about his wife a lot. He mentions his wife a ton. Always positively, too. You know, everyone was shocked when they heard it was Ned who cheated on his wife. Because this man, with everything he said, treated her like an angel, viewed her like a goddess. And yet, he was tempted by the forbidden fruit. He allegedly, well, not even allegedly, he fucking confirmed it. Here's his post. He had an affair, a consensual workplace relationship. The employee that he had, or I believe it was an employee, or maybe just like a work associate, the person that people are thinking it is, was a woman who was also engaged. And her fiance found out and removed every picture of her from his Instagram. And, you know, you can start connecting the dots here. You don't have to be, you know, the smartest guy in the world to follow the trail of breadcrumbs. So, Ned fucked a woman that wasn't his wife, and also fucked another dude's wife. He respects his wife so much he had to cheat on her because he's unworthy of her love. Yeah, maybe that's it. There's also some really beautifully aged clips here.
Ned is cheating. I'm calling it. Ned is cheating. Ned is cheating.
How right you were.
I'm calling it. Ned is cheating. Ned is cheating.
The intuition truly was right on the money. Sometimes you just gotta go with the gut feeling. And now Ned has been removed from the Try Guys. Which is big. I mean, that's big. Losing that job that's not an easy pill to swallow. He has 2 kids, right? He has some kids, I don't know how many. I will be fully open. I'm not overly familiar with Ned or the Try Guys. I, of course, have watched their content from time to time, but I wouldn't consider myself like a connoisseur. Yeah, I don't know their ins and outs. I didn't even know Ned was married. I thought the whole my wife thing was like a running gag or something. So he tried an affair. He did. I don't think he liked the results very much so far, but the jury's still out. Why fire him, though? Because it's a bad image. He's now a flight risk. That happens with everything. It's not just like YouTube or anything. Literally, that happens everywhere. 15K quote tweets. I know this man caught a storm. Yep. So did the company fire him or did he leave? Bro, you think Ned Fulmer left? No, man, he got fired. And obviously, their entire brand is based on their personalities and people liking them and enjoying them. No one likes a cheater. So that immediately is a big problem for the brand. Thus, they got rid of him for it. And his whole brand was how much he loved his wife. True. The love and respect he had for his wife was one of like his crucial tenets, like a 10 commandment he'd follow. Does the president get to appoint a new Try Guy? Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how they'll get the new Try Guy. Surely they have a council to elect the newest member to replace him, like Hydra. Maybe they'll get 2 more members. Cheated because he lost focus. Yeah, it's a really weird statement. I just wasn't paying attention and my dick fell into my employee. Fuck. Now everyone's mad at me. It hasn't even been a full 48 hours since I dropped my trousers and plopped my asshole on a YouTuber's face named End of Jaystation. About 2 days ago I made a video calling out this douchebag piece of shit named Jason, who made a video where he pretends that he was beaten and robbed and nearly killed. It's all very fake, and I called it out and took a shit on it, made fun of it. And now, not even 2 days later, he does something even more douchey and scummy. He makes this video where he says he's using a Ouija board to talk to Etika gone wrong. The same clickbait shit he does for everything. And for those that don't know, the person in this video that he's targeting here, Etika, recently killed himself, and it's been a really tough situation for a lot of people on the internet, and Jaystation's capitalizing on it for views, as he's done numerous times in the past. The day after Mac Miller died, he made a video where he says he contacts Mac Miller through a Ouija board, and Mac Miller was plugging Jason's merch, telling all the children to buy Jason's merch and Mac Miller might come back to life. He did the same thing with XXXTentacion's death. He's just an insufferable asshole, a real piece of shit. So it's not surprising that he would do this. Now the video isn't actually him doing the Ouija board 3 AM shit that he's known for. It's him riding a high horse saying you can't clickbait people's suicide and that you're not allowed to be sad about it, and that he's the only one that's really fighting for Etika by clickbaiting people into clicking on his video and being a massive insufferable asshole about it. Now, that being said, he did donate $2,500 to a charity, but the video's also monetized with ads on it, a bunch of ads on it, so he's making far more money off Etika's death than he's giving to the family. So even your attempt at looking like some type of hero or champion makes you look like an absolute fucking douchebag. It's unreal. So I did a little research on Jason. There's only so much you can say about End of Jaystation that hasn't already been said about a condom covered in horse shit. So I decided to look a little more into Jason E, the person. I'm still not going to drop his last name. But a little brief history, a little lore update on Jason E. He's from Canada. He used to work at a Costco with his mother and began making videos in late 2015, early 2016. Initially, the videos were him just shitting on his coworkers until Costco management stepped in and made him take it down or else he'd be fired. But once he took those down, that's when he started doing his fake pranks, and he actually used to dabble in real shit where he'd go to buildings trespassing and make shit content there. And then he got in a lawsuit, a legal battle because of that garbage. Around the time he was facing his first lawsuit for his shit content, and they didn't sue him because his content was garbage, which they should have. It should be criminal how bad his videos are. They're suing him because it's literally illegal to just trespass in businesses like that and then film it. But while they were suing him, or he was engaged in this lawsuit, one of his friends came forward on Jason's Facebook and made a public post talking about the kind of person Jason E is. Now keep in mind, this is all unverified information. It could be totally made up, but really all of it sounds totally in line with the kind of person Jason appears to be based on his videos. You know, you don't have to see someone's penis to kind of know that it's small. If their truck's super big, it's super loud, you kind of know the dick's small, and that's how I feel with this. So I'm not going to name the guy, but T here made a post on Jason's Facebook and really shed light on what kind of person he was. So according to T, Jason was the most complained about employee in Costco's history, having more suspensions than any other employee and more complaints by far. He also was emotionally abusive towards his at-the-time girlfriend, and on one occasion went so far as to key a woman's car because her daughter, who was a co-worker of Jason's, didn't break up with her boyfriend for him. Which sounds about right. Just looking at Jason, you can kind of get that idea that he's either an incel or just one of those kind of fucking lunatics. So that sounds about right. You know, again, unverified, but it really does seem in line with his character. Allegedly, he also harassed everyone he came in contact with and pushed everyone in his life away, including his mother. So he ended up alone and now making these shit YouTube videos. Again, this is all just from one person's post in 2016, back when his channel was first getting started, so I find it very hard to believe that T was just trying to piggyback off of Jason's pseudo-internet fame because A, he didn't have it back then, and B, he's still not even pseudo-famous. No one over the age of 8 knows who I'm Jaystation is, and even those 8-year-olds don't even have object permanence yet, so they don't know who the fuck I'm Jaystation is. They just know that sometimes that shit comes up in the auto-recommended kids YouTube app, and that's proven, and I say that with certainty. His audience is under 8 years old. And he proved it himself because in September, when YouTube was first demonetizing channels on a large scale, Jason panicked and made a Patreon page and made a video begging people to go to his Patreon page and donate so he could keep making his awful, god-awful, fucking dog shit, vomit-filled diaper bag of garbage content, and it didn't work. At the time, Jason got 70 patrons, totaling right around $200. As of this moment, his Patreon is still up, and he has 2 patrons. And it just didn't work because Jason's audience doesn't have money. They're children. So this fucking idiot, this goddamn Cro-Magnon, overestimated the age of his viewers and the intelligence of them as well. So Patreon didn't work for him, but luckily his shit caught fire again because of the recommended YouTube kids garbage. So his channel's still doing super well. He's still making a lot of money off it. And it's really fucking sad because this pathetic worm, this goddamn vermin, is still profiting off of other people's deaths for his own personal gain and making just horrible, misleading, exploitative content. It's just downright upsetting. And the mentality of this guy is unreal. Eddie Burback left a comment on the Etika video he just released, and his response was, "Ask your girl about me." Yeah, Jason, I'm sure you get girls. What, do you brag about your YouTube channel? You can't. It's so shameful. Yeah, girl, I make 3 a.m. challenge videos for kids. It's fucking awesome. I cut open a Woody doll a couple days ago. It was fucking lit at 3 a.m. Yeah, it was fucking wild, bro, brah, brah, bro, bro, bro, brah. Because that's his whole goddamn vernacular, just bros, bras, and guys. No girl is interested in you, Jason, and you definitely don't brag. Well, you might brag about this YouTube channel. You're a fucking idiot. But it doesn't work, I'm certain. And if you did ever come in contact with a girl and actually mumble out a few comprehensive words other than bruh and guys, she probably laughed really hard at you. Because you probably prematurely ejaculated just even conversing with a female. You look like the kind of guy that doesn't get that kind of opportunity. You look like the kind of creepy guy girls are afraid of. So if Eddie Burback did ask his girl about you, the response probably would have been either, "I have no fucking idea who that is," or, "Oh yeah, that guy that harassed me and made me laugh really hard because he came in his pants just looking at me? Oh, I know that guy, that was really entertaining and scary." That's the kind of guy you are. That's your legacy, Jason. That's what you are. You're like a little cum stain on a shag carpet. Just an offensive little blemish on something. You're just such a piece of shit, man. You really, really are. I thought you hit rock bottom when you convinced your children audience that you'd just gotten your ass beaten and robbed, but this is an even newer low. Trying to platform and make yourself look like a good person even though you piggyback off of everyone's death in society. You're just such a fucking vulture. A literal ass vulture. You suck, man. I don't like you. Most people don't like you, for a good reason. Your audience doesn't even like you. Your Patreon fucking crashed and burned on arrival. The only reason you have viewers is by pure accident. A literal machine anomaly that you have an audience. You suck, Jason. You absolutely suck. Rice Gum used to be the worst douche tuber on the website, but Jaystation has blown him out of the water now that Rice Gum's faded into obscurity and no one knows who he is anymore and stopped making content. Now Jaystation has taken that mantle and he is owning that shit. He has really made that his identity, just being a hated piece of shit. Congratulations, Jason. See ya.
My subs are little children, alright? They're all dumb and they can't fucking read, that's fine. Fuck their opinion.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get roll.
Daniel Keem, known by his online moniker Keemstar, quickly rose to fame as YouTube's resident drama queen and gathered a following of over 1 million socially retarded teenagers who didn't know the actual definition of the word pedophile. After pissing off one too many YouTubers, however, his reign of hysterical gossip and hearsay came to an end. But where's Keemstar now? In fall of 2016, allegations against Keemstar surfaced. A young girl shared screenshots of what appeared to be Keemstar asking her to come on his show, a show he no longer had. The girl's father spoke to Splash TV.
I am absolutely sick and tired of Keemstar. I don't want to hear from him. I blocked him on Twitter, I blocked him on YouTube, I blocked him on my Tumblr blog dedicated to fat acceptance, but he won't listen to it. Now that I blocked him on every form of social media, you know what he does? Well, nope, there it is. He sends me mail the old-fashioned way. I've been getting 5 letters every day from him now, and I'm sick and tired of it. Every day, I get mail, I get letters, and goddamn it, they just keep asking me the same thing. He just says, come on my show, bro. Please come on my show, bro. You know, let's clear the air, bro. You know, I'm gonna get you on my show, bro. We could just, god damn it. And we could discuss it, bro. You know, I don't even keep these mails. I just throw them in the trash. Like, I made a bet out of the first 100 I kept, but past that, you know, it gets boring, so I just throw them in a bin. I'll make a little campfire for my daughter. And here's another one. Yippee! I'm just so tired. Keemstar, just stop, please. If you're out there, please just stop harassing my family. Please, I beg you. Just stop it. God damn it!
Following his arrest warrant, rumors spread that Keemstar had fled to Germany under a fake name and was hiding in one of the many migrant camps. Nationwide investigations were launched by the German police.
Verkündet und bestätigt. Damit bin ich mit dem Part des chronologischen Ablaufs zunächst am Ende. Sie dürfen davon ausgehen, die Ermittlungen beginnen jetzt erst richtig. Und die beiden Tatverdächtigen sind aktuell live und parallel zu dieser Pressekonferenz wohl im Amtsgericht Dresden in die haftrichterliche Vorführung.
The manhunt gained momentum. More and more Germans wanted Keemstar, and they wanted him now. They were scared of their children being asked to come on his show, and the government felt more and more pressure each day. But what the Germans did not know at the time was that Keemstar had already fled the country again and was hiding in Turkey. No one heard from him for a couple of years, until police started getting anonymous tip-offs about a raving derelict asking people to come on his show. After a year-long investigation, Turkish police discovered that Keemstar had started a small cult and was hiding among them, disguised as a crippled mermaid.
Çekme ananı bacını sikeyim, çekme. O karıyın amına koyayım, çekme. Yavaş, yavaş. O karıyın amına koyayım, çekme. Allah. Kaç, kaç. Gel böyle gel. Çek bacını da sikeyim mi? Çek. Ölmüşlerini siktikleri. Peki. Ananız bacını sikişiyor. Beni çekerseniz ananızı sikerim. Amına koyduğumun çocukları. Amına götünü siktiklerini. Amına yarrağımı soktuklarını. Yarrağım var çekin amına koyduğum.
After spending 5 years in prison, Keemstar escaped using keys he was given by corrupt prison guards in exchange for sexual favors. No one had heard from him ever since, until a few days ago when new footage of him emerged. He had gained weight and become one of Turkey's biggest underground pro wrestlers and was known by his new name, The Gossip.
İkisine birden saldırıyor bakın. Da haklılar timsahlar. Buz kartları da girdi içeriye. Ne olay? Artık Arap saçının dibinde sevgili izleyiciler bitirip bitirmemek. Ama maç çok çetin geçiyor.
Up next on Splash TV. Was the Hindenburg an inside job? Shocking new evidence might reveal that the real culprits were extremist air bison.
The iDubbbz controversy that's blowing up at the moment has launched the Simp Wars to a new level that not even Jesus Christ thought possible. I keep getting asked my opinion on the iDubbbz situation during streams, and I don't fucking understand why. I made one video about simps on Twitter, and now all of a sudden I'm like the simp epidemiologist plotting the course, and everyone's looking for my expert opinion on it. Shockingly, I don't have a degree in simp research and analytics, but I'll still weigh in on the topic because I'm inundated with requests to do so, and I actually feel very passionate about something in this situation. To sum up the situation for those out of the loop, iDubbbz is a popular YouTuber, and he has a girlfriend. His girlfriend created an OnlyFans account, and the internet has lost their fucking minds. Today he made a video addressing the controversy in the Meltdown, and he is getting his ass blasted for defending it. Now, fair warning, I'm about to go against the grain here, so get your body pillow and squeeze her tight because you're gonna need the comfort. This might be a hard pill to swallow. I think this controversy is such fucking sad bullshit. I think people are way too fucking invested in internet celebrities, and it's just genuinely pathetic. Now, I don't agree with every point iDubbbz made in the video, and I don't think that's a big deal. I don't fucking hate him because I disagreed with a couple of points, and I think overall, this shouldn't have even been a controversy in the first place, but because celebrity worship is so normalized in the world right now, people felt so entitled to tell iDubbbz how to live his life and what he's allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do. It's his fucking relationship. If he's okay with his girlfriend having an OnlyFans account, all power to him. But then you have these professional Redditors going in full Alex Jones Meltdown, shaking their fucking fists, running outside. Damn you, iDubbbz, how could you do this to me? You've betrayed me, my life is ruined. It's pitiful. Now, he made a clear distinction in his video between those unhealthily obsessed people that act like their entire universe collapsed because he did something that they morally didn't agree with, and the people who are just memeing the situation and making jokes. That community, that cell right there, I think is totally fine. They've made some bangers, for sure, that he even acknowledged. But you have this very large and, for some reason, socially acceptable group of superfan stalker stans. They're K-pop stans for iDubbbz. But unlike the unhealthily obsessed K-pop stans, this unhealthily obsessed group isn't getting made fun of. For some reason, this one's rational and okay. These people that are acting like their entire life has just come to a complete halt because of iDubbbz supporting his girlfriend's decision. These people that are so incredibly outraged that they have to go into their closet to tear down the bubblegum effigy they built of iDubbbz because now they don't agree with something he did. This shit is goofy and out of control. That's what I'm passionate about. This unhealthy celebrity worship and this ridiculous idea that people on the internet are his best friend just because they subscribe to his YouTube channel and watch one of his videos a month. Now they feel like they know him inside and out and have some say in how he's allowed to live his life. That he needs to ask their permission to make decisions. I think that's fucked up and out of control. That's the only thing I'm really passionate about in this situation. I just think celebrity worship is a plague. I think that shit absolutely sucks and there's never anything good that comes from it. And this iDubbbz situation, this controversy, is born from that very idea. Now, I'll talk about the entire situation while I'm here and give my whole perspective. Now, first of all, I don't know shit about iDubbbz's girlfriend. I've talked to Ian a handful of times and I've enjoyed our conversations. He came on the podcast and we had a lot of fun there. But I don't know anything about his girlfriend. From what I've seen on a surface level with comments and shit, she's been involved in controversies on the internet, but I haven't looked into it, so I don't have any personal opinion of her or her character or anything like that. In my expert opinion, iDubbbz isn't a simp. I know you can't say that right now. I mean, keep it between us. I'll whisper it. I know it's like saying Voldemort's name out loud, but I don't think iDubbbz is a simp. Call me a white knight, but I just don't see it. iDubbbz's girlfriend is literally selling Instagram pictures for money on OnlyFans. 9 out of 10 OnlyFans accounts are just a second Instagram. Everything you find on OnlyFans is shit that you would find on a public Instagram, but people are paying for it. It's genius. She made $40,000 selling no nudity on OnlyFans. It's fucking Instagram pictures. That's genius. It's free money. And then people calling iDubbbz a cuck about how she's gonna get a new boyfriend from OnlyFans. Are you out of your fucking mind? Do you think the Easter Bunny is real too? Are you injecting crocodile into your penis veins? You really think some kissless, snot-nosed virgin on OnlyFans is gonna steal iDubbbz's girl because he subscribed to her OnlyFans? Absolutely fucking not. That is never going to happen. I'm sorry to come in here and hit you with the cold water about Santa Claus not being real, but that's not gonna happen. But if it does, I will go on stream and burn through my entire Gwyneth Paltrow pussy candle. That is literally the last pussy candle from Gwyneth Paltrow and one of my prized possessions. So I'm wagering a lot. I'm very fucking confident that that is just not going to happen. People are paying for shit that he's getting for free. Who's the actual cuck here? It's very silly. It's not like by jerking off to Instagram pictures of his girlfriend they're any closer to actually fucking her. It's not like you've lost your virginity by ejaculating into some tissues looking at her OnlyFans Instagram pictures. It's not like, you know, via transitive property and the dimensional shifting quantum mechanics, I've had sex with iDubbbz's girlfriend. That's not how it fucking works. It's still an exclusive relationship between those two. It's not like because she has an OnlyFans, even if she was doing nudes, it's not like she's become this spread-legged, labia-extended vagina that everyone stuck their dick in just because they subscribe to the OnlyFans. And she's not even doing nudity, so it's still just a normal relationship for those two, but she has 2 Instagram accounts that one of them is making a lot of money. Now, I understand there were a lot of people that had a moral objection to her having an OnlyFans and him supporting it, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can disagree, that's totally within your right. But it's these people that took it to this absurd degree of lunacy where they'll go on this 200 tweet long rampage about it, like this fucking holy crusade, splashing holy water on their monitors. They're typing up another 15 paragraphs where it enters this level of lunacy. That's where it becomes this unhealthily worshipped shit that is just detrimental to anyone's mental well-being. But yeah, again, the main thing that I was passionate about this whole situation is just the celebrity worship and how people's lives have come to this screeching halt because they don't agree with the decision their favorite internet person made that didn't concern them personally. I just don't understand that level of infatuation and vicariously living through someone that you don't even know. It's just unhealthy and sad with like a really weird level of self-importance where you'll have these armchair relationship specialists leaving all of these long fucking comments with so much shit put behind it. It's just really pathetic, you know. Ian must break up with his girlfriend. I know this is going to happen, and if he doesn't break up with his girlfriend, well, then I'm just never coming back here again. As if that somehow holds any weight at all to the guy you're talking to. As if iDubbbz is going to sit down and read that, be like, you know what, I was in a happy relationship, but now I've just read AssPounder14's comment about it, and he's making a good point, I'm going to have to break up with her, thanks man. It's just fucking silly. If you disagree with it or anything like that, why not just make jokes and memes about it like a normal fucking healthy person was, instead of writing these long, full-on goddamn dissertations about the whole situation and just acting like a goddamn stalking weirdo and breaking down over Twitter. Yeah, that's really kind of my take on the situation. I don't see why it was even a controversy in the first place, past some like big memes and good jokes maybe. But, I mean, shit, it really kind of blew up, and I don't think Ian even needed to address it. I'm sure in like another 2 weeks it would have totally blown over, even on his own cesspool of a subreddit. But we're here now, baby, and it is what it is, so, I mean, that's really about it. So yeah. I just got out of the shower, which is why my hair is so sodden and makes me look like the girl out of the Ring movies, but I needed to freshen up. I had to spruce myself up for this, because today is a special occasion here. Many of you are aware, and some of you have probably even said a few prayers for my mental health, that I have been lost in the abyss of cringy, unhinged, weirdo text messages and bad dates that have been shared when it comes to romance. I have been glued to it. And today, we have a celebrity appearance here. Can we get a round of applause? Like, we made it. We went from just like a couple of really lunatic Redditors to an actual superstar celebrity making an appearance on this little segment here that I like to do. So anyway, let's get into it. So the superstar in question is the former Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Ryan Shazier. This is a name many of you have probably heard of before because in 2017 his career was ended after a tackle went wrong that left him paralyzed. And over the years, since 2017, he has relearned to walk. It's actually an incredible story and an incredible recovery he's made. But unfortunately, he decided to cheat on his wife, allegedly. And his wife posts the screenshots yesterday from the alleged affair. I'm not going to show you every text message because a lot of them are just extremely boring and stiff. It's just the world's worst small talk. The things they say to each other is more robotic than like a throwaway conversation from side characters in Fallout 4. So I'm just going to show you the main ones that I want to focus on. So this is the first one from Michelle's Instagram. Now, it is worth mentioning this post is deleted. I imagine that is mainly due to it now being a legal matter, would be my understanding. I would imagine Ryan's lawyers are on this now. But anyway, she says, a person that loves his family, this is what they do to their family, the wife. That has been there for him since day one. Infidelity at its finest. I can't sit here and keep hiding anymore. You can have it. I deserve better. This is Ryan. He's a liar and a cheater, and then we can turn our attention to the contents of the text messages. He was allegedly cheating on his wife with a woman named Marie, and this is the first one I believe she shared. So it begins, oh, okay, haha. Glad she's not tripping though. She seems really cool and fun, like I'd be friends with her lol, like look at you. And then it's a picture of Ryan and Marie. And then he just says, yeah, make that picture look good. I'm a little confused here because it sounds like Marie is aware of Ryan's wife and just doesn't care. And then Ryan then goes on to say in the following messages there, saying that she's super cool, referring to his wife again. That is a really odd conversation to be having with the person you're cheating on your wife with, and then talking about how you'd be friends with her, probably. So, before getting into more of the text messages, I think it's important to mention that Ryan is claiming that him and his wife have been separated, and that he just wants his privacy from all of these allegations. I guess it's hard to know for sure what the truth is here, but with the text messages and the post from his wife, it really seems like they're not on the same page when it comes to whatever their relationship currently is. It sounds like more of an affair as opposed to a we're separated, so this is totally okay kind of thing. But anyways, I'd like to move on and really give your eyeballs a treat here with what I believe to be the most baffling exchange in flirting history. So Ryan says, I like a lot, and I believe he meant I like you a lot to Marie. She replies by saying, I like you a lot, lol. And then Ryan replies with 2 book recommendations, like it's some kind of summer reading assignment here. He links her to 2 books, like it's a Friday night book club. The first one being The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex for Women, 2nd edition, and the other, Blow by Blow, a step-by-step guide on how to give blowjobs so explosive that he will be willing to do anything for you. I was giggling so hard. She's like, I like you a lot. And then Ryan says, hit the books. You've got some homework to do. And I've seen a lot of people mention that as well. Like his first response to I like you a lot is, well, it's time to get your mandatory assignments in here in order to take this to the next level. And I absolutely was giggling so hard reading the first book, The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex, mainly because it's the 2nd edition. Like, what do you mean? What changed in anal over the course of these book publications' history? Like, surely the 1st edition is still applicable. An asshole still functions the same way. We haven't evolved that much over the years. But they came back for the 2nd edition. Like, maybe analingus wasn't in there, like they weren't eating butt. And then the 2nd edition, they have like a whole dedicated chapter to eating butt, and then like debunking old scientific claims about, you know, how to properly clean out the colon before anal or something. I have no idea. But the fact that he recommended the 2nd edition had me absolutely howling for a little minute. It reminded me of being back in college when they give you like this very specific textbook that you have to use for class. Like, no. You can't use Anatomy and Physiology 2, 3rd edition. That is obsolete and outdated. You have to use Anatomy and Physiology 3.5, obviously. And then it's like an extra $200 for that 0.5 edition book. Like, that's what he did to her with that. We don't have like a follow-up on what she says after the book links were dropped, but I have to imagine she was fucking flabbergasted. I like you a lot. Bang. Here's how to be better with your mouth and your ass. Like, oh, like that seems insulting. It's like he's calling all that weak for her or something. Like it feels like he's taking a shot at her here. Like you're gonna have to upgrade. Start studying, please. This is ridiculous. I just couldn't believe that. I've never seen such an interesting maneuver here. What a crazy strategy from Ryan. But anyway, let's go back into some more texts. You know what I need. Shake my head. You didn't bring a coat. I'm glad you like. And oh, I did. Haha, it's on my lap. And then she sends a selfie. Shake my head, wear it. He's shaking his head a lot here. Like, I don't know why he's sounding so disappointed in her. I have a zip up on too, haha. Lol, you can't change the temp in your office. This is the worst flirting ever, I swear to God. What in the world? This is so bad. I tried, but it's not working, haha. I'm just all bundled up. I want you on top of me / next to me and my fireplace, lol. That would be nice. And then he replies to the I tried, but it's not working. He just says, that sucks. Oh, brother. ChatGPT spits out better flirting than this. Like, I could have a more erotic conversation with an AI model. Like, this is rough. I'll just show you one more of the text messages that were shared. So Marie sends him a mirror selfie. I believe she's wearing a bikini top, but the quality's kind of bad, so it could just be bare breasts, and I just can't see the nipple in there because the quality's so low. There's a lot of JPEG and pixelation on the re-uploads now, but I think she's wearing a bikini top, and then says, enjoy some random pics / vids from Mexico. He at one point said that he had bad memory, to which she replies, aw baby, haha, it's okay, memory is just what I'm good at, you're literally the strongest person I've ever met. He goes, I don't know about that. She says, that's what I think at least, do you like the pics? And then he goes, goddamn, just seeing these. And she says, I'm glad you like. Her having to ask his opinion on the photos is brutal. If I sent a dick pic to someone and I'm met with crickets, silence, and then like the next text message they send is unrelated to that dick pic, I'm going and I'm crying in my bathtub. Like, I'm putting on, you know, Inya, and I'm in my feels. I sent you my cock, and you say nothing? What have I done wrong? It's wacky to me that he had to be asked about it in order to acknowledge the pictures and the videos she sent. But anyway, yeah, there still is, I guess, a little confusion around what the truth is here, if they really are, like, split up and they're not in a relationship anymore and all of this happened after they split up. I guess we just don't know yet, but I do feel like his wife probably wouldn't call him a liar and a cheater if this didn't happen while they were still together. So, I don't know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this continues to develop, but I just had to talk about these text messages because, goodness gracious, that's really about it. So yeah. I'm sure a lot of you have seen all of the FaZe drama that's been going on Twitter over the last couple days, and FaZe is something I've talked about quite a bit over the last year because it's been an absolute circus. From their stock absolutely flatlining to the point now where it's basically just a sad joke. Just look at this graph, it puts a tear in your eyes. It's more tragic than the ending to Marley and Me. It's just been crazy to see them circle the drain like this and have this wild fall from grace, because they're one of the very few gaming-focused brands that branched out into the mainstream. Like, most people have probably heard of FaZe at some point in their life, even people that aren't associated with gaming. So they really did blow up in a big way, and now there's like a war going on between like the founders of FaZe versus the corporate suits that now control FaZe, and it's all just been bubbling over and becoming this massive shitstorm, and everyone's getting covered in the filth. It's getting stinky. Now, the first domino that fell in this FaZe soap opera is the OGs came forward, like FaZe Rain and Banks, and started criticizing the brand overall, talking about how it's become soulless and lame and just generally horrible. The main talking point is how the founders have lost control of the company to these zombies in suits that just don't understand the space. And they also show no respect to the founders that brought it there in the first place. They overrule them, they have no real decision-making power. Thus, the direction FaZe has been going over the last few years has been a negative one. And most people can probably agree with that. FaZe hasn't exactly been hitting home runs recently over the last couple years. So the founders have been talking about how disappointed they are with FaZe in its current state. And then FaZe Rain recently has just been leaking tons of information, like internal stuff, financials. He's been leaking more than the faucet in my college dorm room. He has been going hog wild with tons of information. And most recently, he was focusing on their numbers, like their actual numbers with their spend as well as what they're making. He made a video going over their financials, talking about how much they spend on certain games in the esports space, as well as the lack of return they see from it, even disclosing Nick Merck's salary for being on FaZe, which is like $1 million a year, and he just goes over how much they're spending and how they're not seeing any of that money. It's just fucking vanishing into thin air and just like literally bleeding them dry on finances. According to a lot of his numbers here, they're spending over $700,000 a month on like esports stuff. That's crazy, and they're not seeing any money come back into the company, which isn't exactly an eyebrow raiser. This is something everyone speculated for a long time because it's become very clear to actually every single person with eyes that the entire esports scene just doesn't make any money. What's wrong, Io? I don't know why the esports scene is so shit for generating profit. I have no idea. I don't have the answers. What's wrong? I've upset Io mentioning this. Because it is heartbreaking. Like, esports is a scene that you get in for passion, and you see a lot of orgs start to close their doors because they just can't stay afloat. It's very expensive, and you don't make anything. So Rain was going over their numbers, which I do believe because, like, the information he's been leaking has so far been confirmed accurate, and he's just talking about, like, how much money they're losing, and it's a lot. Over 700,000 clams, over 700,000 pristine doubloons is a ton of cash. That's nuts. To convert that to Robux, I wouldn't even know where to start. You'd need like fucking 50 zeros at the end of that number. It's a lot of money that they are pissing away and not getting anything back from. So he started revealing these numbers. More OGs came forward to talk about how upsetting it is to see the direction that the brand has gone and that it's completely lost its identity. The people at the top of the food chain don't understand the culture, so it's trash. All of these statements from the OGs then led to this like Marvel civil war within FaZe, where you had the OGs versus the people at the top and also new generation FaZe members. So a lot of the audience was on the OG side and a lot of the audience on the new side, and it's just been this constant clashing. And yesterday it really festered into something pretty foul. So just to give context here, it started with this tweet from FaZe Clan where they said, "We want more women in FaZe Clan." To which FaZe Rain replied saying, "Spoiler alert, it's Grace, and the only reason I heard was because she was on one episode of Stranger Things." He's referring to Grace Van Dien, who is a streamer named Bluefy and also was in Stranger Things. So it turns out he was 100% right, because yesterday FaZe announced that Grace Van Dien is joining the FaZe family. Now, this all led to a lot of hubbub, a lot of discussion, and a lot of controversy. And with a very public fallout between the OG FaZe founders and current FaZe, people were already on edge. It also really didn't help with the FaZe tweet about wanting more women in the organization, because that got the community excited, thinking that FaZe was about to make a big signing from someone who's been grinding in the scene for a long time, working hard for an opportunity like joining FaZe, and then turns out they had already made their decision when they had made that tweet. So that was kind of a bad look, and it didn't do anything good for Grace because it put her in an uncomfortable position where the community was upset that she got the opportunity being a relatively new streamer. They thought that they had signed her just because she's a celebrity. So some members of the community got upset at Grace directly, which I think is super misguided. There's plenty to critique about FaZe signings and business decisions, but Grace didn't do anything wrong here. She does stream often and then had this opportunity to join a huge org. Yes, being an actress did obviously help her get this opportunity for sure, but at the very least she seems excited about it and does actively stream, which is already more than you can say for half of their celebrity signings. Like Snoop Dogg, for example. They paid him a fat load of money, as well as stock, in FaZe in order for him to be on board the FaZe family. And all he ever did was take a single photo with them, and then the word FaZe never left his lips again. He must have been hit by a Men in Black neuralizer that erased his memory of FaZe Clan entirely, because he never did anything with them, in spite of getting all of this money and this stock. And it wasn't just him. They've done this for multiple other celebrities too. Like Kyler Murray, who I'm pretty sure all of you watching didn't even know was part of FaZe Clan at any point. I didn't until I watched Ludwig's Mogul Mail on it. I had no idea Kyler Murray signed with FaZe, but he did. Kyler Murray never even mentioned FaZe Clan a single time. Not once. After joining. But in this case, Grace is an active streamer, thus will be presenting the FaZe brand to her audience, and she seems extremely excited about doing things in collaboration with FaZe, which is infinitely more than any celebrity that FaZe has signed recently. So I really feel that the anger directed towards Grace is just a little weird. The focus should instead be placed on how out of touch FaZe has become with the decisions they make. For example, this was also mentioned in Ludwig's Mogul Mail, but it's something I've talked about as well, where FaZe had that whole super expensive reality show where, you know, who wants to be the next FaZe member? So you want to be a FaZe superstar, do ya? Well, hop on board the Polar Express here for this FaZe show. And they put so much money into it, and only like 6 people ever watched it. Like, they dumped money into this completely geriatric, dumb ideas like that reality show that no one cares about, no one gets excited for. And all of their YouTube content is beyond dead. And no matter how much mouth-to-mouth they give it, they can't revive it. They can't get that heartbeat back, no matter how much they try, because they just don't know what they're doing or what direction to take FaZe. It's become very corporate, and most people don't vibe with it anymore. And it's also led to new FaZe members fighting with the old FaZe members, so they're like actually butting heads and, you know, throwing down in the Twitter replies against each other. So it's just been so much fighting and drama with FaZe because the founders lost control of the company, and the direction it's gone has only further decayed the brand to the point where it's at, 55-cent stock price and kind of just like a joke in the industry outside of some of their esports teams. Like, they are still doing really well in the games they're in for the most part. Not entirely all of them, but a large chunk of them, their esports teams are still top of the line. So it's just a shame to see how bad things are behind closed doors at FaZe. And now those doors aren't even fucking closed anymore. Those doors have been kicked open. The entire public is being exposed to all of the dirty laundry of FaZe, and all of it's happening publicly. I am still shocked FaZe Rain was even able to release all of the information he has without getting sued. I would have thought they would have had so many NDAs out the wazoo on FaZe Rain, but he's just been revealing everything. So I'm starting to believe they probably just forgot about him and all of the founders, so they never even bothered to NDA them. So he'll probably just continue to share shit without repercussion. So I'm pretty excited to see what else he starts bringing to the public eye with FaZe. But anyway, I kind of wanted to talk about all of this because I just find it so fascinating and generally sad to see the state of FaZe. Like I said, it was one of the few gaming brands that broke into the mainstream and had like a very wide appeal to people even outside of the space, which is nothing shy of impressive. So to see what it's become is just wild, and to see how it continues to unfold is shocking. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I don't know how it recovers, I really don't. Like, even if it does get back into the hands of the OGs, I still don't exactly know how they right the ship right now. I don't know how they fix all the damage that's been done to the brand. They probably have to start over, like at the very bare bones level, and build it all again. Because it's just been so tarnished, and they've lost so much money as well. I just don't know exactly how you fix it. But anyway, I just wanted to go over it all. That's about it. See ya. Douchebag YouTubers are a disease, not as severe as coronavirus, but not far off either. There's one in particular, one real stinky shit-stained greaseball named Jaystation, whom I've made a few videos on by now, and that's because I find the ridiculous and awful shit he does to just be really enjoyable to make fun of. By now you've realized I don't like him. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I really don't like him. Almost nobody does. He gets used like a goddamn fleshlight on the internet. I mean, sticking your cock in the dirty glory hole of a biker bar feels less gross than watching a full Jaystation video. But why am I talking about him again? Well, it's because his YouTube career has ended, and I felt like he at least deserved a proper eulogy, and who better to deliver that than I, so if I may, I wrote a poem. Hello, Jason. You suck. Goodbye, you creepy fuck. So long, and good luck in court in March. Thank you. So what am I talking about? Well, I don't really give a shit about Jason's life outside of the internet, by the way, but that is now spilled over to the internet, and this is why he has to step away from it, because the whole faked girlfriend death thing has led to charges against him. There was a warrant for his arrest. He now has to appear in court about some certain charges of assault and assault with a weapon, some pretty serious accusations. And in response to that coming to light, as well as other factors from Jaystation's past, YouTube has decided to completely demonetize Jason's channel, which has prompted him to step away from YouTube. He made a goodbye video, which I'll play for a brief moment now.
What's up, guys? So this video is like super hard for me to make. Basically, I want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys.
I had to stop the video right there. He said guys 2 times in the first 11 seconds of the video. If you're unfamiliar with Jaystation, consider yourself very lucky, but guys is a word he uses more than the. He says guys so fucking frequently it's grating. It fucking hurts. That'll put hemorrhoids in your butthole real quick. And even in his goddamn goodbye video, he couldn't help but just sprinkle guys in a million fucking times. To be fair, in this goodbye video, he has moments of self-reflection that seem genuine, others that seem hollow. I'm not a fucking armchair psychoanalyst therapist, you know, I'm not a supreme redditor here that can deduce all of the small details of everyone's speech and get it right 100% of the time. But to me, it at least seems like there is a recognition from him that he's kind of a piece of shit these days, which is great. And in response to that and being demonetized, he's stepping away. But it's hard to even watch this goodbye video just because the amount of times guys is said. It fucking hurts. Now when I say YouTube demonetized him, and what he means by demonetized is YouTube stepped in themselves and removed monetization options from the Jaystation channel. This is only the second time I can think of where they've ever done this to anyone, at least at this level. So that's pretty significant. I'm sure all of you know by now I don't support censorship at all. And in this case, I have to applaud YouTube. It's hard not to celebrate how they've handled this whole Jaystation parasite. I like that they didn't outright delete his channel. I think demonetizing it was a smart move because his content is focused at children, and in times he scams those kids, misleads them with this fake clickbait shit, has them believe people they love are dead or people that died can be brought back thanks to Jaystation. So he's teaching these kids some terrible shit and outright lying to them, scamming them, using them, exploiting them. It's deplorable behavior. Plus now with these serious accusations against him, I think it just makes sense the way they've handled it. Ideally, what would have happened is Jaystation finally has enough self-respect to say, I'm tired of getting pissed on, I'm going to take a break. That would have been the best possible scenario, but YouTube had to step in and kind of push him in that direction because I think he needs time away, get some help, get himself, you know, settled down again. But yeah, this looks like the season finale to the long-running Jaystation sitcom. I gotta be honest, it's a little sad to see it go. There's never been a punching bag quite like Jaystation on YouTube, and with Onision about to be Jared Fogeled, I imagine, there's probably not going to be another Jaystation to fill that hole left in the soul of YouTubers just looking for someone to make jokes about. But anyway, that about covers it. Hopefully Jaystation will learn to not be an asshole. Perhaps the demonetization was a good thing for him, we'll see. But again, I want to make this clear. I don't give a shit about every bad YouTuber's personal life, by the way. I just like picking some entertainingly bad content and making jokes about it, or some bad people that make bad shit and make jokes about them and the content. I don't want, nor do I care to know about every single detail of someone's life on the internet. I've never really given a shit about that, to be honest. So I just wanted to make that clear, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah. R. Kelly is a name that'll strike fear into the hearts of underage girls everywhere. If you see R. Kelly, you're in trouble, because he's going to be pissing on you if you're an underage girl. Most of us already know R. Kelly is a bad person, a fucking cult leader with sex slaves, a horrible, horrible person. And I thought with that video of Drake surfacing recently where he's being very uncomfortably close with a 17-year-old girl on stage, and then after finding out she was 17, he starts fucking kissing her like he was trying to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, and then he compliments how good her breast felt against his chest, all after finding out she was 17. He just made it really fucking weird, going full kiddo mode, and I thought since that came out and everyone's talking about that, why don't we look at some weird shit R. Kelly's done on stage? So this was during a recent performance of R. Kelly. This time there wasn't too many golden showers being handed out, but for some reason he went to the front row and asked the women to wipe him. I don't know how common this is at his concerts. Maybe this is his finale, like his Bohemian Rhapsody. I really have no fucking idea, but it's extremely weird, and I don't know how it's sexual, but apparently it is because the girls are going wild, about to fucking faint like they're at the One Direction concert. Holy shit, you're wiping his sweat. And then I like how he sings "Wipe My Nose." That was actually pretty cute. Then the girls are like telling him, wipe his hair, come on. Oh, I'm not going to be able to come if you don't wipe his hair. Oh, shit. Why the fuck would anyone want their tongue wiped? Why would you want a dry tongue? And you already know that shirt they're using to wipe him down is covered in semen, so it's probably the crustiest thing on the fucking planet. It's probably akin to using sandpaper on his tongue. I just don't really see how it's sexy, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think this would work at a bar situation as a pickup line. Like, you know, you got a cloth carrying around with you like you're a golfer looking to wipe off his clubs, or a WWE wrestler trying to wipe the sweat off him. You toss it at the girl you're interested in, you say, hey bitch, can you wipe my tongue? And you stick it out. You're going to jail that night. That's not sexy, that's fucking scary. I fucking love that move right there. Oh, keep wiping me. And then all the girls are like touching at his penis like they're all trying to get their hands on the Super Bowl trophy at the end of the game. Now, I don't want to show too much of this clip though, because at some point you can see his semi-chubbed wiener coming out there, and I'm surprised he didn't pee himself or an all over them. But one of the girls pinched the tip and he recoiled, and because it hurt, obviously. And that's where the video ends. He was shaking his finger like, no, no, no, you don't pinch my penis like that. Now let's go ahead and move on to Exhibit B here in front of the court for why R. Kelly's an absolute fucking menace to society. This is from an Ethiopian concert a while back. I believe it was a New Year's concert, and he was trying to recruit women to come back to America with him.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America.
R. Kelly is a lot of awful, awful, horrible things, but one thing he is not is an anti-vaxxer. So at least that's good. He's better than the people in Beverly Hills who for some reason refuse to fucking vaccinate their children because they're so fucking stupid. Fuck you. Anyway, R. Kelly's awful. He's really bad. But what I really like about this clip in particular is that the backup band keeps playing during this lunacy. You can even hear like a backup singer saying, America, as if she's also trying to recruit them to come back with R. Kelly. It's wild. So this was obviously pre-planned. It's not like he just went off book here. So he had to go up to the band and say, hey, look, guys, I'm going to start recruiting here. I need some more sex slaves, and I'd like you guys to help me out here with a really soothing melody. Oh, yeah, anything for you, R. Kelly. Sure, yeah, I got you.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Who wants to come back with us to America?
Really fucking took it home right there. What a performance, an inspired performance. And that is how you recruit for a cult right there, ladies and gentlemen. Learn how to sing. It's all it takes, apparently. R. Kelly's a horrible person. You don't need me to tell you that. But I thought these were two really interesting and fucking weird videos to talk about here. So if you're watching this, R. Kelly, and I know you're not, fuck you, man. That's it. See ya.